it's actually an illusion to think that one could change treaties, so that means negotiate the treaty change and ratify the change and get it into force within 2 years. Past examples have shown it takes much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a good thing. No one wins from disengagement. Actually, everyone loses. The United Kingdom would lose, and Europe as a whole would lose.
Professor Herwig Hofmann, you are Professor of EU Law at the University of Luxembourg. When we talk about this hypothesis put forward that EU treaties could be renegotiated by the United Kingdom, in fact, all EU member states would have to be on unanimity to get an agreement on that. How realistic would this be in such a short period of time, 2 years?
Well, it's, first of all, every single member state has to agree to a treaty change.
Mm-hmm.
That means not only the government has to agree, but the constitutions of each state require certain conditions. In some states, a referendum is required that has to be organized and held. In other states, constitutional courts will decide. That takes its time till their judgment is rendered. And since bringing together these various traditional legal systems with a great history is not a simple process. It takes its time and it has its complexities. In that context, bringing together a system but also taking it apart is not an easy thing. And of course, most people have their opinions what should be better done on the European level and what should be better done on the national level. I personally think, for example, agriculture could be something better regulated on the national level, and defense and security would have a lot to benefit from a European dimension. And I'm sure everyone else has also their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But the nature of negotiating these things is to put it together and to see for what we get our majorities. And we, in my view, would all lose from not working together and actually have a lot to gain from working together. Just think of the ongoing negotiations with on a free trade agreement with the United States or with Asia. We can really serve our interests and our values much better if we stand together than if the Asians, notably the Chinese, can pick each one of us Europeans off and force their conditions on us. We are very good together, and we like, as a good family, to disagree. And that's actually a very productive thing. We should continue that.
So also the four freedoms of the internal market, in that sense, are not dissociable. Either you take them all, but you cannot pick and mix.
Yes, so just to describe four freedoms, what are we talking about? We're talking about rights of free movement of citizens. We're talking about the possibility to sell goods throughout the Union, the possibility to provide services. It could be banking services, it could be broadcasting, it could be e-commerce, all kinds of things. Talking about e-commerce, for example, is already linked. It's a service, you send something across the internet, but often you sell a good or an advice or a movie by doing so. Now, obviously, there are spillover effects from one area to the other. So simply saying we will only want to have free movement of goods, but not regulating security standards, or will only allow free movement of services without saying, well, what conditions does a bank, for example, have to comply with in order to ensure security of citizens? We just saw it with the Icelandic banks. The IceSave case is really interesting. So, a bank from a non-EU state was offering services in the European Union, and to a great surprise of many investors in these banking products, they were not as safe as they should have been. So, the idea of being able to have certain access to markets without common standards is, to my opinion, an illusion. And that's what consumers expect. and therefore things are interrelated. It's not a clear-cut system.